Their voices have echoed in the chambers of your heart for so long. My child, haven't they? The chorus of opinions, the symphony of expectations, the subtle and not so subtle judgments that have shaped and often constricted the very contours of your soul. You have carried the weight of their words, my beloved, like a heavy cloak. Each pronouncement, each assessment, each casual remark adding another layer to its suffocating folds. You should be this, they declared. You must do that. This is acceptable. That is not. And in your deep, human yearning for acceptance, for belonging, for love, you have often tried to tailor your spirit to fit their ever-shifting patterns, to earn their fleeting approval, to silence their disapproval, only to find yourself weary, diminished, and a stranger to the magnificent truth of who I created you to be. You remember the striving, don't you? My precious one, the endless, exhausting dance of trying to anticipate their desires, to meet their standards, to win their applause. You have held your breath, waiting for their verdict on your choices, your dreams, your very being. Their opinions became the mirrors in which you sought your reflection. And so often, those mirrors were cracked, distorted, reflecting back not your true essence, but their own biases, their own fears, their own limited understanding. And with each distorted reflection, a little more of your own light dimmed, a little more of your own true voice was silenced, a little more of your God-given worth felt conditional, precarious, dependent on their next evaluation, the weight of worldly opinions. My child, is a grievous burden. It can steal your joy, stifle your creativity, and paralyze your spirit with the fear of not measuring up, of being found wanting, of facing their rejection. You may have walked through life on eggshells, carefully monitoring your words, your actions, your very thoughts, lest you inadvertently transgress some unspoken rule, some unarticulated expectation, and incur their displeasure. This constant vigilance, this perpetual seeking of external validation has been a source of profound anxiety, a deep undercurrent of unrest that has kept you from truly resting in the peace of your own being, in the security of my unwavering love for you. They, the arbiters of worldly esteem, the dispensers of fleeting approval, have defined your path by their limited sight. They have measured your progress by their own yardsticks, often failing to perceive the hidden battles you have fought, the silent victories you have won, the unique beauty of the journey I have ordained specifically for you. Their opinions, my child, however well-intentioned some may have been, are ultimately born of finite understanding, shaped by cultural norms, personal preferences, and the ever-shifting tides of human thought. To build your sense of self, your understanding of your worth, upon such an unstable foundation is to build your house upon the sand, vulnerable to every passing storm of criticism, every shifting wind of opinion, and oh, the pain. My beloved, when their opinions have been harsh, when their judgments have been unkind, when their words have pierced your tender heart like daggers, you have known the sting of being misunderstood, of being misrepresented, of having your purest motives questioned, your deepest vulnerabilities exposed and perhaps even ridiculed. These wounds, inflicted by the careless or cruel words of others, can run deep, creating within you a fear of being truly seen, a reluctance to offer your authentic self to a world that has often seemed so quick to judge, so slow to understand, so hesitant to love unconditionally. But I come to you today, my child, as you stand perhaps weary from this long and often painful dance of seeking approval, as your spirit yearns for a truer, more steadfast definition of your worth. I come to tell you that there's another voice, another mirror, another standard that matters far more, that endures beyond all earthly opinion, that speaks the unwavering, eternal truth of who you are. It is my voice, my beloved. It is my gaze. It is my heart that defines your worth. And my definition is rooted not in your performance, not in your achievements, not in your conformity to worldly expectations, but in the simple, profound, unalterable fact that you are mine, my creation, my cherished child, infinitely precious, unconditionally loved, and endowed with a unique, God-breathed beauty that no earthly opinion can ever truly diminish or augment. The time has come, my precious one, to begin the sacred work of letting go of the crushing weight of their opinions, letting go of the exhausting pursuit of their approval, letting go of the fear of their judgment. For as long as you allow their voices to be the loudest in your life, as long as you grant them the power to define your worth, you will remain a captive, a prisoner of their fleeting and often flawed perceptions. But I am calling you into freedom. My child, the glorious freedom of knowing your true value, a value that is not assigned by the world, but divinely bestowed by me, your Creator, your Father, your eternal, unwavering adorer. I see the struggle. My beloved, I understand the deep human need for connection, for acceptance, for a sense of belonging. I designed you for it, but that need was never meant to be met by a desperate contortion of your soul to fit the molds of others. It was always meant to find its truest, deepest, most satisfying fulfillment in me, in my unconditional love, my perfect acceptance, my unwavering affirmation of your inherent, God-given worth. When you are securely rooted in my definition of who you are, the opinions of others, while still perhaps heard, will no longer have the power to define you, to crush you, or to send you into a frantic dance of appeasement. You will be free to love them, to serve them, to engage with them, not from a place of needing their approval, but from a place of knowing your own belovedness, your own divinely ordained value. This is the journey I am inviting you to embark upon. My child, the journey from the burden of their opinions to the liberating truth of my eternal, loving definition of your immeasurable worth. Indeed, my child, while the chorus of worldly opinions has often swirled around you like a confusing and tempestuous wind, sometimes lifting you with fleeting praise, at other times casting you down with harsh criticism, my gaze upon you, my beloved, has remained and will always remain constant, unwavering, and saturated with an unconditional, eternal love. You have sought your reflection in the often distorted mirrors of human perception, but I invite you now to behold yourself through my eyes, for it is here, in my unchanging gaze of love, that your true, intrinsic, and immeasurable worth is perfectly, luminously revealed. Their sight, my precious one, is so often limited to the surface, to the external, to the performance of the moment. They assess you by what you do, by what you achieve. by how well you conform to their shifting standards of acceptability or success. Their opinions are like the weather. My child, subject to change with every passing mood, every new influence, every subtle alteration in their own circumstances or perspectives. One day you may be lauded, the next day dismissed. One moment you are deemed worthy, the next found wanting. To live by such fickle estimations is to build your house upon the ever-shifting sands, to subject your spirit to a relentless cycle of anxiety and uncertainty. But my gaze, my beloved, is not so superficial, not so conditional, not so prone to change. I see beyond the facade, beyond the roles you play, beyond your triumphs and your stumblings, into the very core of your being, to the sacred essence of who I created you to be. I see the divine spark I myself place within you, the unique imprint of my own image that makes you irreducibly precious, eternally significant. My perception of you is not based on your adherence to worldly norms, nor on your capacity to impress or please. It is rooted in the unalterable fact of your belovedness, a belovedness that was established before you took your first breath, a belovedness that will endure long after the opinions of this world have faded into silence. I see your heart, my child, in all its complexity, its beauty, its vulnerability. I see your deepest longings, your hidden fears, your silent struggles, your unspoken prayers. I see the purity of your intentions, even when your actions may have fallen short. I see the courage it takes for you to navigate this often challenging earthly journey, the resilience with which you have faced your trials, the quiet acts of love and kindness you have offered when no one else was watching. These are the things my eyes behold, the inner realities that so often escape the notice of the world, but which are, in my sight, treasures of immense worth. When the world looks at you and sees your imperfections, your mistakes, your moments of weakness, and perhaps offers its judgment or its disapproval, my gaze of love sees something more. I see a child learning, a spirit growing, a soul being perfected through the very crucible of its human experience. My love does not diminish in the face of your frailties. It draws nearer, offering grace, extending mercy, providing strength for your rising. For my love, my child, is not earned by your perfection, but is a free, unmerited gift, the very atmosphere of my being, in which you live and move and have your truest self. The opinions of others can be like labels, my precious one, sticky and difficult to remove, often defining you in ways that are limiting, inaccurate, or even cruel. They may label you by your past, by your perceived failures, by your outward appearance, by your societal status. But I do not see you through such narrow, constricting labels. I see you as my masterpiece in progress, my unique creation, endowed with specific gifts, called to a divine purpose, and infinitely capable, through my spirit, of reflecting my glory in a way that no one else can. My definition of you transcends all earthly categories, all human assessments. Imagine, my child, a precious jewel, perhaps still partially encased in rough stone, or bearing the marks of its journey from the depth of the earth. The untrained eye might see only the imperfections, the lack of immediate, polished brilliance, but the master jeweler, with his expert gaze, sees the inherent beauty, the potential radiance, the unique fire that lies within. My eyes, my beloved, are like those of the master jeweler. I see the eternal, luminous spirit I have placed within you, even when it is temporarily obscured by the dust of your trials or the incrustations of worldly influence. And my delight is in the process of revealing that inner brilliance, of polishing away the dross, of allowing your true, God-given radiance to shine forth for all to see. This unchanging gaze of my love is your true north. My child, your unshakable point of reference in a world of constantly shifting perspectives. When you feel disoriented by the conflicting opinions of others, when you are tempted to measure your worth by their fleeting approval, I invite you to consciously turn your inner eyes towards me. Ask me, Father, Oko, how do you see me in this moment? What is your truth about who I am? And in the quiet stillness of your heart, my spirit will whisper my affirmation, my love, my unchanging perception of your infinite worth. This is the voice to trust, the gaze to live by, for my love is not a fickle emotion. My child, it is the very essence of my being. It does not depend on your deserving it, but flows freely, ceaselessly, unconditionally from my heart to yours. It is a love that chose you before the foundation of the world, a love that knows your every thought, your every fear, your every hope, and still cherishes you beyond measure. It is a love that will never abandon you, never forsake you, never cease to believe in you, even when you may struggle to believe in yourself. So, let this truth become the bedrock of your soul. My precious one, while their opinions may rise and fall like the tides, my love for you, and therefore my perception of your intrinsic worth, is as constant as the stars, as enduring as eternity itself. You do not need to strive to earn it. You do not need to fear losing it. It simply is. And in the light of this unchanging gaze of love, you will find the courage to let go of the exhausting burden of worldly opinions and the profound peace that comes from knowing, truly knowing, that your worth is divinely defined, eternally secure, and infinitely precious in my sight. This is my truth for you, my beloved. Rest in it, live from it, and be free. And so, my child, as you begin to bask in the steady, unwavering light of my loving gaze, as the truth of your intrinsic worth, seen and affirmed by me, starts to take root within your spirit, let us now, with gentle honesty, examine more closely the nature of those worldly opinions upon which you have so often, and so painfully, relied for your sense of self, for to truly let go of their hold upon you. My beloved, you must understand not only the steadfastness of my definition, but also the inherent precariousness, the profound unreliability of building your life, your identity, your peace upon the shifting sands of their esteem. The opinions of the world, my precious one, are like the wind, ever changing, blowing hot one moment, cold the next, influenced by 1,000 unseen currents and fleeting atmospheric conditions. Today, they may laud you, celebrate your achievements, offer their coveted approval. Tomorrow, for reasons often unfathomable, or perhaps due to a slight shift in their own circumstances, their own perspectives, or even their own moods, that same approval can turn to indifference, to criticism, or even to outright rejection. To anchor your soul to such a fickle, unpredictable force is to condemn yourself to a life of perpetual motion sickness, forever tossed about by the changing tides of human fancy. Consider, my child, the very foundation upon which worldly esteem is often built. So frequently, it rests upon the superficial, your outward appearance, your material possessions, your perceived successes in the eyes of a culture that often values the transient over the eternal. They may praise your beauty, which will inevitably fade, your accomplishments, which can be surpassed or forgotten, your adherence to their current norms, which are themselves as changeable as the seasons. Is this a worthy foundation for your eternal spirit? My beloved, is this a true measure of the magnificent, unique, and divinely endowed being I created you to be? Surely, your heart knows it is not. Furthermore, my precious one, the opinions others hold of you are so often not truly about you at all, but are, in fact, reflections of themselves, their own insecurities, their own unhealed wounds, their own limited understanding, their own unspoken fears and biases. When someone judges you harshly, it is often because an aspect of your being or a choice you have made has touched upon an unresolved issue within their own soul. When they offer praise based on superficial criteria, it may be because those are the only criteria they have been taught to value. Their words, their assessments are filtered through the complex, often clouded, lens of their own life experiences, their own perspectives. To accept their opinions as the definitive truth about yourself is to allow your reflection to be shaped by a myriad of imperfect, often distorted, mirrors. And what of the impossibility of pleasing everyone? My child, if you set your course by the compass of others' opinions, you will find yourself sailing in endless, conflicting circles. What one person admires, another may disdain. What one group applauds, another may condemn. To strive for universal approval from a world so diverse, so fractured, so often at odds with itself, is an exercise in futility, an exhausting pursuit that will inevitably lead you further and further away from your own authentic center, your own true self, the self that I cherish and understand perfectly. In attempting to be all things to all people, you risk becoming nothing true to yourself or to me. The esteem of the world, my beloved, is often a conditional offering. We will value you if you succeed. We will accept you if you conform. We will love you if you meet our needs, our expectations. This conditional acceptance creates an environment of constant striving, of performance anxiety, where your worth feels perpetually on trial, always needing to be proven, always vulnerable to revocation. But my love for you, my child, and therefore my definition of your worth, is utterly unconditional. It is not based on your doings, but on your being, on the simple, profound, unalterable fact that you are my beloved child, created in my image, precious beyond all human measure. This is a truth that stands firm, regardless of your successes or failures, your strengths or weaknesses, your conformity or your delightful, God-given uniqueness. The opinions of the world are also profoundly limited by a lack of true knowledge. They see only a fragment of your story, a snapshot of your journey. They do not know the silent battles you have fought, the hidden tears you have shed, the courageous choices you have made in the secret chambers of your heart. They do not perceive the intricate workings of my grace in your life, the subtle ways I am shaping you, guiding you, redeeming your experiences for my glory and your ultimate good. Their judgments are often formed from incomplete data, from surface appearances, from a profound ignorance of the deeper spiritual realities at play. How then, my child, can such limited perceptions ever be a true or reliable measure of your infinite, eternal worth? In stark contrast, my beloved, my definition of your worth is rooted in eternal truth, in perfect knowledge, in unconditional love. I see you not as the world sees you, but as you truly are in the fullness of your being, and as you are becoming in me. I see your potential, your destiny, the magnificent masterpiece I am even now cultivating within you. My view is not swayed by popular opinion, nor clouded by personal bias, nor limited by temporal understanding. It is the view of your Creator, your Redeemer, your most intimate and loving Father, and it is a view that declares you, without reservation, without condition, to be infinitely precious, deeply beloved, and endowed with a unique and sacred value that nothing and no one can ever diminish or take away. This, my child, is a solid rock upon which you can safely build your life, your identity, your peace. All other ground is shifting sand to continue to seek your worth in the fleeting. Fallible opinions of others is to condemn yourself to a life of insecurity, of anxiety, of perpetual disappointment, but to consciously, courageously choose to let go of their opinions and to anchor your soul instead in my unchanging, loving definition of your worth. This is the path to true freedom, to profound peace, to the joyful, authentic expression of the magnificent being I created you to be. It is a journey, my child, a process of unlearning old dependencies and embracing new, divine truths. But it is a journey I walk with you, my voice, your guide, my love, your constant affirmation, until your heart rests secure in the unshakable knowledge of its true, eternal, and divinely defined value. And so, my child, as you begin to loosen your grip on the shifting sands of worldly esteem, as you start to perceive the inherent unreliability of building your identity upon the fleeting opinions of others, I now desire to speak directly to the very core of your being, to declare with the unwavering authority of eternal love the profound, unshakable, and divinely ordained truth of your immeasurable worth. Listen with your heart, my beloved, for this is not a mere opinion, not a conditional assessment, but my sacred decree, my eternal pronouncement concerning you. You are infinitely precious in my sight. Your value is not a commodity to be earned or negotiated, but an intrinsic reality woven into the very fabric of your soul by my own creative hand. Forget for a moment, my child, the cacophony of voices that have sought to define you, to measure you, to label you. Silence the echoes of past criticisms, the anxieties of future judgments, the internal critic that so often amplifies the world's harsh assessments. In this sacred space of communion between your spirit and mine, hear my truth and let it become the bedrock of your self-understanding, the unshakable foundation upon which you build your life. Your worth, my precious one, begins in the very act of your creation. You are not an accident, not a random confluence of cosmic dust. You were thought of, dreamed of, desired by me before the foundations of the world were laid. I, the architect of the universe, the source of all life, personally, intentionally, and lovingly fashioned you in my own image, breathed my own spirit into your being, and declared you good, indeed, very good. This divine imprint, this spark of my own essence that resides within you, is the first and most fundamental testament to your inherent, inalienable value. You bear the signature of the King of Kings. My child, how could you ever be anything less than infinitely precious? Furthermore, my beloved, your worth is irrevocably established in the reality that you are my child, not merely my creation, but my cherished son, my beloved daughter. My love for you is not a distant, abstract affection, but the passionate, personal, and unwavering love of a father for his own. This love is unconditional. It does not depend on your performance, your perfection, your successes, or your failures. It is not something you can earn through your good deeds, nor something you can lose through your stumblings. It simply is eternal, boundless, and utterly secure. To be loved with such a love, by such a God, is to possess a worth that transcends all earthly measure, all human comprehension. This is my decree concerning you. You are loved. You are mine. And therefore, you are of infinite value within the unique design of your being. My child, I have placed specific gifts, divine endowments, sacred treasures that are yours alone to discover, to nurture, and to offer to the world. These are not accidental talents, but intentional impartations of my own creative spirit, designed for a particular purpose, a unique expression of my life through you. Whether these gifts are in the realm of compassion, of artistry, of intellect, of leadership, of quiet service, or any other of the myriad ways my spirit manifests, they're part of your inherent worth, testaments to the specific beauty and potential I have woven into your soul, that do not compare your gifts to those of others, my beloved. For each is unique, each essential, each infinitely valuable in my sight and in my grand design. Your worth is also found in the sacred stewardship of these divine treasures I have entrusted to you. And know this, my precious one, your worth is not diminished by your imperfections, your struggles, or your past mistakes. I see your humanity, my child, with all its frailties, all its vulnerabilities, all its tendencies to stumble, and my love, my acceptance, my valuation of you remains utterly unchanged. For my worth is not based on your flawlessness, but on my grace. It is not contingent upon your strength, but is often most powerfully revealed in your weakness. When you learn to rely wholly on me, the world may devalue you for your scars, for your broken places, for the times you have fallen short. But I, my child, I see those very places as opportunities for my redemptive power to be displayed, for my healing love to mend and make new, for my strength to be perfected in your acknowledged need. Your imperfections do not negate your worth in my eyes. They simply provide a canvas for my grace to paint a masterpiece of redemption. This divine definition of your worth, my beloved, is an unshakable truth, a celestial decree that stands firm against all the shifting opinions and conditional valuations of the world. It is a truth that can liberate you from the exhausting pursuit of external approval, from the paralyzing fear of judgment, from the corrosive acid of self-doubt. When you begin to truly internalize, to believe with your whole heart that your worth is divinely ordained, eternally secure, and infinitely precious in my sight, a profound transformation occurs. the need to prove yourself diminishes. The anxiety about what others think lessens its grip. The freedom to be your authentic self, to express your unique gifts, to live your God-given purpose, begins to blossom with a new and radiant confidence. I am the one who defines your worth. My child, not your past, not your achievements, not your failures, not the fleeting opinions of a fickle world. My definition is written in the language of unconditional love, sealed by my eternal spirit, and proclaimed with the unwavering authority of your Creator and Redeemer. This is not a truth you need to strive for. It is a truth you are invited to rest in, to receive, to allow to permeate every fiber of your being until it becomes the very breath of your soul. So, let go of their opinions. My precious one, release the burden of their judgments. Turn away from the distorted mirrors of worldly esteem, and come, my child, come and stand in the pure, unwavering light of my loving gaze, and hear my eternal decree concerning you. You are my beloved. You are my masterpiece. You are infinitely precious. You are endowed with divine gifts and a sacred purpose. Your worth is not negotiable. It is absolute. It is not conditional. It is eternal. It is not defined by them. It is defined, now and forever, by me. Embrace this truth. My child, live from this truth, and you will discover a peace, a freedom, and a joy that the world can neither give nor take away. This is my heart for you. This is my word to you. This is my unwavering definition of your immeasurable worth. And so, my beloved child, as a profound and unwavering truth of your infinite preciousness, decreed by my own eternal love, begins to resonate within the deepest chambers of your soul, the sacred invitation now unfolds for you to actively, consciously, and courageously begin the process of letting go. Letting go of the heavy, often invisible, chains of worldly approval that have for so long bound your spirit. Letting go of the exhausting, unfulfilling pursuit of validation from sources that are ultimately finite, fickle, and flawed. This, my child, is the practical pathway to inhabiting the glorious freedom of your divinely defined worth. It is a journey of release, a sacred unburdening, and I am with you. My spirit, your gentle guide, your empowering strength, every step of the way, this act of letting go, my precious one, is indeed a process, a journey rather than an instantaneous arrival, for the habit of seeking your reflection in the eyes of others, of measuring your value by their applause or their criticism, is often deeply ingrained. Learn from your earliest days in a world that so frequently operates on these external currencies. Therefore, be patient with yourself. My child, be compassionate towards your own heart as you embark on this liberating, yet sometimes challenging, path of detaching your worth from the shifting sands of human opinion and anchoring it firmly in the unshakable rock of my eternal love for you. The first step in this sacred release, my beloved, is often one of conscious awareness. Begin to observe with gentle, non-judgmental attention the ways in which you have allowed the opinions of others to shape your thoughts, your feelings, your choices, your very sense of self. Notice the subtle or not so subtle anxieties that arise when you anticipate the judgment. Recognize the moments when you find yourself contorting your true feelings or desires to gain their approval or avoid their disapproval. This awareness, my child, is not for self-condemnation, but for illumination. It is like bringing these hidden chains into the light so that you can begin to see them for what they are, not essential supports, but constricting bonds. As this awareness grows, my precious one, I invite you to consciously challenge the authority you have inadvertently granted to these external voices. When an old critical remark echoes in your memory, or when a new judgment is cast your way, pause, breathe, and then, my child, bring that opinion into the radiant light of my truth concerning you. Ask yourself, does this align with what my God, who created me, who loves me unconditionally, who defines my worth as infinitely precious, says about me? More often than not, you will find a stark incongruity. Their opinions are based on limited sight, on worldly standards, perhaps even on their own unhealed projections. My truth about you, however, is eternal, all-knowing, and rooted in pure, unwavering love. In this conscious comparison, the power of their words begins to diminish. Their hold upon your heart begins to loosen. This leads to the courageous act of choosing. My beloved child, choosing whose report you will believe. Will you continue to give credence to the fleeting, often flawed assessments of a world that does not truly know your heart, nor your divine destiny? Or will you choose, with ever-increasing conviction, to believe my eternal, loving definition of your immeasurable worth? This choice, repeated moment by moment, day by day, is a powerful act of spiritual warfare, a claiming of your true identity, a realignment of your soul with the foundational truth of your belovedness in me. Each time you consciously choose my truth over their opinion, another link in those chains of approval begins to weaken, to rust, to break. Cultivate an inner sanctuary, my child, a sacred space within your own heart, where my voice is the loudest, my presence the most palpable, my definition of you the most deeply cherished. Nurture this inner garden with prayer, with meditation on my words of love and affirmation, with quiet moments of simply resting in my embrace. As this inner sanctuary becomes stronger, more vibrant, more truly your home, the opinions of the outside world will find it increasingly difficult to penetrate its peace, to disturb its serenity. You will carry within you a portable refuge, an unshakable center of divinely defined worth, from which you can engage with the world with a new freedom, a new confidence, a new grace. Practice the art of self-affirmation. My beloved, based not on your own achievements or perceived perfections, but on my unchanging love for you, my unwavering belief in you. When you catch yourself engaging in self-criticism, gently interrupt that pattern. Remind yourself, I am a cherished child of God. I am infinitely precious in His sight. I am endowed with unique gifts and a divine purpose. My worth is not dependent on my performance, but on His unwavering love. Speak these truths to your own heart, my child, until they become more familiar, more real, more deeply ingrained than any negative self-assessment or any harsh judgment you have ever received from others. And my precious one, an essential part of releasing the chains of others' approval is the sacred act of forgiveness. Forgive those whose opinions have wounded you, whose judgments have caused you pain. This forgiveness is not primarily for them, my child, though it may release them too. It is for you. It is the act of cutting the energetic cords that bind you to their negativity, that keep their words alive and powerful within your own spirit. Forgiveness does not mean condoning their actions, nor does it necessarily mean reconciliation if the relationship remains unhealthy. But it does mean releasing the bitterness, the resentment, the desire for vindication, and entrusting them and your own wounded heart. Into my healing, redemptive hands. As you forgive, you reclaim your own power. You break the hold of their past opinions over your present peace and your future freedom. Know that I am with you in this process, my beloved, every step of the way. When the old habits of seeking external validation feel strong, lean into my strength. When the fear of letting go of familiar, albeit painful, patterns arises, rest in my love. My spirit is your gentle guide, your divine empower, helping you to discern, to choose, to release, to heal. This is not a journey you undertake in your own finite capacity, but one that is infused with my infinite grace, my limitless power, my unwavering commitment to your complete and glorious liberation. As you practice these steps, my child, as you consciously choose to let go of your reliance on their opinions and to anchor your worth in my eternal definition, you will begin to experience the first sweet taste of true freedom. A lightness will enter your spirit. A new confidence will begin to bloom in your heart. A profound peace will start to settle in the places where anxiety once reigned. This is the fruit of releasing the chains of approval. My beloved, the joyful, authentic, and divinely empowered life I have always intended for you. Continue on this path, my precious one. Your liberation awaits. And so, my beloved child, as you courageously practice the sacred art of letting go, as you consciously release the heavy chains of worldly approval and begin to anchor your soul in the unshakable truth of your divinely defined worth, a glorious new way of being begins to dawn within you. The echoes of their opinions start to fade. Their power to shape your inner landscape diminishes, and in their place, a profound, liberating sense of freedom, peace, confidence, and authenticity begins to blossom. This, my precious one, is the exquisite fruit of choosing my definition over theirs. This is the joy of walking in your divinely defined freedom. Imagine, my child, what it feels like to finally lay down an immense, cumbersome burden you have carried for far too long. The relief, the lightness, the sudden capacity to stand taller, to breathe more deeply. This is but a shadow of the spiritual liberation you begin to experience as you detach your worth from the fleeting assessments of others and root it firmly in my eternal, unconditional love for you. The constant, underlying anxiety of wondering, am I good enough for them, starts to dissipate, replaced by the serene assurance, I am infinitely precious to him, my creator, my father. This is not a prideful assertion, my beloved, but a humble, joyful acceptance of my truth, a truth that sets your spirit free. In this newfound freedom, my child, your true self, which may have been hidden for so long beneath layers of self-protection or conformity, begins to emerge with a new and radiant confidence. You find yourself less inclined to wear the mask that once felt so necessary, less compelled to play the roles that never truly fit your unique spirit. There's a growing ease in your being, a naturalness in your expression, a quiet courage to simply be who I created you to be, without apology, without pretense. The energy once consumed by maintaining facades, by trying to meet conflicting expectations, is now liberated, available for you to invest in authentic living, in purposeful action, in joyful self-expression, and oh, the peace, my beloved, the profound, unshakable peace that begins to permeate your soul as you walk in this divinely defined freedom. This is not the fragile tranquility dependent on favorable circumstances or the absence of criticism. No, this is a peace that flows from within, from the very core of your being, where my spirit whispers the constant affirmation of your belovedness, your inherent worth. It is a peace that can coexist with external challenges, a peace that remains steadfast even when the opinions of the world swirl around you like a tempest. For your anchor is no longer cast in their shifting sands, but in the immutable rock of my love. This peace becomes your sanctuary, your inner haven, a place of quiet strength and serene refuge. From this place of peace and freedom, my child, a new and authentic confidence begins to blossom. This is not the brash self-assurance of the ego, nor the fragile confidence built upon worldly achievements. It is the quiet, steady assurance that comes from knowing, deep within your soul, that you are infinitely valued, unconditionally loved, and divinely equipped by me. This confidence allows you to step forward into your calling with less hesitation, to offer your unique gifts with greater boldness, to speak your truth with gentle conviction, not because you seek to impress or to dominate, but because you are secure in who you are in me. It is a confidence that is not easily shaken by criticism, nor unduly inflated by praise, for its source is internal, divine, and unchanging. And in this atmosphere of divinely defined freedom, my precious one, your authentic voice, which may have been silenced or muted for so long, begins to find its true expression. You feel more able to share your genuine thoughts, your true feelings, your unique perspectives, with wisdom and love, without the paralyzing fear of judgment or rejection. Your creativity, your passions, the very song I placed within your soul, these begin to flow more freely, more joyfully, enriching not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. The world, my child, is desperately in need of the authentic beauty, the unique truth, the specific gifts that only you, living from your true self, can offer. And as you walk in this freedom, you become a clearer channel for my love, my light, my life to flow through you into a thirsty world. This journey of walking in divinely defined freedom is also a journey of profound healing. My beloved, as you consistently choose my definition of your worth over the often wounding opinions of others, the old hurts, the tender places where their judgments once pierced so deeply, begin to lose their power. My love, my acceptance, my affirmation become a healing balm, soothing those inner wounds, restoring your sense of wholeness, and enabling you to forgive those whose words once caused you pain. You begin to see their opinions not as definitive truths about you, but as reflections of their own limited perspectives. And their power to inflict further harm diminishes significantly. My delight, my child, is to see you walking in this glorious freedom, to witness your spirit unfurling like a magnificent flower that has finally been given the perfect conditions to bloom, to see the light of your true self shining brightly, unhindered by fear, unburdened by the weight of others' expectations, is a joy to my Father heart. For this is how I created you to live, free, authentic, joyful, peaceful, confident, and radiantly expressing the unique beauty and purpose I have woven into your very being. This is not a destination you reach once and for all, my precious one, but an ever-expanding realm of grace, you are invited to inhabit more fully each day. Continue to practice letting go of their opinions. Continue to consciously choose my definition of your word. Continue to cultivate that inner sanctuary of peace and confidence, rooted in my love. And as you do, you will find this divinely defined freedom becoming not just a fleeting experience, but the very atmosphere of your soul, the constant reality of your life, enabling you to walk through this world with a grace, a power, and a joy that are a beautiful testament to the liberating truth that I, your God, am the one, the only one, who truly defines your immeasurable worth. And so, my beloved child, as you walk in the radiant light of your divinely defined freedom, as your spirit breathes the pure air of authenticity and rests in the profound peace that comes from knowing your immeasurable worth in me, let this truth now become the very bedrock upon which you build all your future days, all your hopes, all your dreams. My word concerning you, my eternal definition of your value, is your unshakable foundation, a fortress of truth that no worldly opinion, no fleeting circumstance, no assault of doubt can ever dismantle or destroy. This is not a temporary reprieve from the weight of others' judgments. My child, it is an invitation to build your entire life upon a foundation that is as steadfast, as enduring, as my own eternal being. The opinions of the world, as you have learned, my precious one, are like the shifting sands, unstable, unreliable, offering no true security for the precious edifice of your soul. To build your sense of self upon them is to be perpetually vulnerable, forever at the mercy of changing tides and unforeseen storms. But my word, my truth about who you are in me, beloved, cherished, infinitely precious, created with divine purpose, endowed with unique gifts, this is the solid rock, the immutable ground, upon which you can construct a life of unwavering confidence, profound peace, and lasting significance. This unshakable foundation is not something you must struggle to create. My child, it is something you are invited to recognize, to receive, and to consciously choose to stand upon, day by day. It is already there, beneath your feet, within your spirit, a gift of my grace, a testament to my unwavering love. Your part is to believe it, to trust it, to allow its truth to permeate every aspect of your being until it becomes the very lens through which you view yourself, your life, and the world around you. My promise to you, my beloved, is that I will continually affirm your true value, my spirit, an ever-present witness within your heart, whispering my truths, countering the lies of unworthiness, and reminding you of your sacred identity as my cherished child. This is not a one-time declaration, but an ongoing, loving dialogue, a continuous stream of my affirming grace, designed to keep your soul anchored in the certainty of your divine worth. As you cultivate your intimacy with me, as you make space to listen for my voice, you will hear this affirmation resounding within you, a constant melody of love that silences all discordant notes of doubt or self-condemnation. To live upon this foundation, my child, means to consciously build your thoughts, your choices, your actions, your very life, upon the unshakable reality of your God-given worth. When decisions arise, ask yourself, does this choice honor the infinitely precious being my Father has declared me to be? Does it align with the divine purpose He has woven into my soul? When challenges come, face them not from a place of fear or inadequacy, but from the quiet confidence that you are deeply loved, fully equipped by my grace, and held secure within my unwavering strength. When interacting with others, do so from a wellspring of your own divinely affirmed value, allowing you to love freely, to serve generously, to speak truthfully, without the crippling need for their approval or the paralyzing fear of their rejection. This foundation provides an eternal security that no worldly status, no human relationship, no earthly achievement can ever offer. For all those things are subject to change, to loss, to the inevitable decay of time. But your worth in me, my child, is an eternal verity, a truth that transcends all temporal realities. It was true before you were born. It is true in this very moment, and it will remain true for all eternity. To build your life upon this foundation is to build for eternity, to invest in that which can never be taken from you, that which will only grow more luminous, more profound. As you journey deeper into my heart, my commitment to you, my precious one, is to be the constant guardian of this truth within your life. I will not allow the world, or the enemy of your soul, or even your own lingering doubts, to ultimately rob you of this precious inheritance. My grace will be your shield, my spirit your teacher, my word your unassailable defense. As you continue to choose to believe my definition of your worth, you will find me empowering that choice, strengthening that conviction, and making that truth an ever more tangible, experiential reality in your daily walk. The legacy of a life built upon this unshakable foundation of divinely defined worth is a legacy of profound peace, of authentic power, of radiant love. It is a life that is not easily swayed by the storms of circumstance, not easily broken by the disappointments of the world, not easily diminished by the criticisms of others. It is a life that stands tall, rooted deeply in my truth, its branches reaching out to offer shelter, fruit, and beauty to a world that so desperately needs to see the reality of my transforming love. This is the life I am calling you to build, my child, upon the unshakable foundation of my eternal, loving definition of your immeasurable worth. Do not look back with longing at the shifting sands of worldly approval. My beloved, do not seek to rebuild your sense of self on that precarious ground. The freedom, the peace, the confidence you have begun to taste as you have let go of their opinions are but the first fruits of a life securely anchored in me. There's so much more, my child, so much more joy, so much more purpose, so much more of my love to be experienced as you continue to build upon this solid rock. My word, my truth concerning you, is indeed your unshakable foundation. Stand upon it with courage, rest upon it with peace, build upon it with joy, and know that I, your God, your Father, the eternal definer of your infinite worth, am with you always, continually affirming your belovedness, perpetually guiding your steps, and forever delighting in the magnificent, unique, and infinitely precious child you are, and are ever becoming. In me, this is my promise. This is your security. This is your eternal song. And now, my cherished one, as you stand firmly upon this unshakable foundation of your divinely defined worth, let the gentle certainty of my eternal love be the very air you breathe. The voices of the world may still sometimes whisper, but they no longer hold the power to define you. For your identity is anchored in a truth far greater, far more enduring. Rest in the knowledge that you are seen, valued, and infinitely precious in my sight, not for what you do, but for who you are, my beloved child. Let this profound peace settle deep within your soul, a constant reminder of the unshakable security and the boundless love that are yours, now and for all eternity.